Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if this is your first time finding the channel. If this is your first time finding the channel, then I'll explain to you. I do a lot of videos on my channel, a lot of nerd culture or geek culture. One of those things I do is DC updates, DCU updates, DCEU updates. I also do Marvel updates, Star Wars updates. But today we have a DCU update. We're going to talk about two things today. Two things that came out the last couple of days with announcements as far as the DCU. And those two things are that it was announced there is a Jimmy Olsen series coming out, which that was rumored back after Superman was released, and then we never really heard anything more about it. So they're moving forward with a Jimmy Olsen series, and then they are redoing V for Vendetta as a series for HBO Max. Now we're going to get into these articles. I'm going to read them. I'm going to give my thoughts on them. And then I'm going to tell you my whole thoughts on these two projects as a whole. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to start with the Jimmy Olsen. This is coming from Cosmic Book News. It says Jimmy Olsen spin-off series in the works. Gorilla Grodd, the villain. Before we even get started, I don't know why you would use Gorilla Grodd as a villain before you even introduced the Flash in your universe. As first announced back in July, like I said, now Jimmy Olsen is officially getting his own show. The Hollywood Reporter reports that American Vandal creators Dan Peralt and Tony Yacenda have been tapped by DC Studios to write, executive produce, and showrun a Superman spin-off series starring Skylar Gisondo as Daily Planet photographer Jimmy Olsen. Gisondo was a breakout star in James Gunn's Superman, and now DC is giving him the spotlight. Olsen series targets Gorilla Grodd. Season 1 of the new DCU show will focus on none other than Gorilla Grodd, the super-intelligent telepathic ape known for ruling Gorilla City and clashing with the Flash. Grodd first appeared in the Flash comics in 1959, created by John Broome and Carmine Infantino, and is one of DC's most recognizable villains. Grodd was also featured in Gunn's Creature Commandos animated series. While Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane and David Cornsweet's Clark Kent won't appear, the show will center on Jimmy and other Daily Planet reporters as they investigate bizarre supervillain cases, starting with Grodd. From American Vandal to DCU, the hiring of Peralt and Yacenda hits at the tone of the series, so expect mockumentary-style humor and absurd true crime parody. Humor and parody, that's all James Gunn knows how to do. The duo rose to fame with Netflix American Vandal, which spoofed the true crime genre and even earned a Peabody and Emmy nod. They also created Players for Paramount Plus, and Peralt recently penned Strays, Universal's R-rated talking dog comedy. Yacenda also directed episodes of Chad Powers, the new Glenn Powell series. Gunn and Peter Safran are executive producing the Olsen spinoff, with Galen Weisman overseeing for DC Studios. Again, I don't know why this is needed. Why are we doing side characters? We haven't introduced anyone but the Superman family and the stupid Justice Gang in your movie, and now you're just going to focus on these side characters. This is why I keep saying the DCU is dead. Gunn is just trying to milk what he created and what he's done so far before he gets the boot. This show is going to be crap. This says, why a Jimmy Olsen series? More Gunn Superman family saga. Two new DC series have been announced. A Jimmy Olsen show set in James Gunn's DCU, and a V for Vendetta series believed to be an Elseworlds project. I'll get to that in a minute. Both shows point to what we've been hearing, that Gunn has been quietly pivoting away from his larger DCU and towards smaller, contained stories focused on Superman and characters tied to him. Gunn shifts to the Superman family. Our insiders told us last month that Gunn's original God and Monsters plan is essentially over, and I've been reporting on that. It says Gunn pivoted to a new direction, quietly moving from Gods and Monsters to the Superman family saga because his contract hasn't been renewed, and if Skydance buys Warner Brother, Universal is still quietly in play, then they want a completely new start. That's exactly what's happening. The new Jimmy Olsen series, starring Skylar Gisondo reprising his role from Superman, continues Gunn's shift toward a Superman family saga rather than a broader, interconnected DC universe. It's clear now that Gunn is pouring his energy into the Superman corner of the DCU with Superman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Jimmy Olsen, and Man of Tomorrow all orbiting the same characters and tone. V for Vendetta signals a separate direction. The second project, V for Vendetta, is thought to be an Elseworld series, meaning it's not part of Gunn's DCU at all. That aligns with what we've been hearing. Warner Brothers is still developing non-DCU content as the company prepares for potential sale. Gunn's DCU doesn't appear to be expanding, just splintering. It's also worth noting that V for Vendetta fits a more adult, political, prestige TV approach, the kind of project Warner Brothers would keep alive regardless of who's running DC Studios. DC's future is still uncertain. Behind the scenes, it's all about timing. Gunn's contract runs through 2026, and as we've reported, he admitted on camera that he doesn't know his future with DC. Meanwhile, Skydance and Comcast are both in active talks to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix is still said to be in the mix. So again, this just goes to prove that everything I've been saying is coming to pass. They're not building up the DCU. They're letting James have this little corner of Superman and his characters he created to do what he wants with them until his contract expires. Or they get bought and they give him the boot and they completely restart, which is going to happen. Now let's get into this V for Vendetta article. It says V for Vendetta TV series in the works at HBO with James Gunn attached. A V for Vendetta TV series is officially in development at HBO with James Gunn and Peter Safran of DC Studios on board as executive producers. Variety broke the story. HBO developing new live-action DC series. Pete Jackson is attached to write the series. Ben Stephenson and Leanne Klein also executive produce with Warner Brothers Television behind the project. HBO and DC Studios aren't commenting yet. Jackson's rep didn't respond. If picked up, this would be another major DC live-action project landing at HBO following Peacemaker, The Penguin, and the upcoming Lanterns. It's likely the V for Vendetta series is set outside Gunn's DCU and will be standalone. Well, I would hope so. It also follows the news of the movie returning to theaters next year for its 20th anniversary. Okay, so before I go on with this article, that was what I was going to talk about. So they announced that they're going to release V for Vendetta back in theaters next year for its 20th anniversary on November 5th. The very next day, HBO Max and DC, these rumors broke that they're doing a V for Vendetta series. To me, they saw the hype from returning it to theaters, and now they want to make it a show. Do I need to remind everyone how the Watchmen series went at HBO? Not good. Don't mess with this. Do not do a series. It's not needed. We don't want it. Don't do it. The classic comic. V for Vendetta began as a comic serial by Alan Moore and David Lloyd, first appearing in 1982 in the British anthology Warrior. DC took over the series in 1988. The story is set in a dystopian Britain ruled by the fascist Norse Fire Party. A masked anarchist called V leads a rebellion against the regime with the help of Evie Hammond, a young woman he rescues from the secret police. HBO's DC slate. If the series moves forward, it adds to HBO's list of DC content, including Lanterns starring Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre as Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, which is up next, expected in early 26. But we have had rumors it's not going to premiere till after Supergirl, which would be July. Who is writing it? Jackson wrote Channel 4's Somewhere Boy, earning a BAFTA nomination for his work. He also wrote Sky Atlantic's upcoming The Death of Bunny Munro, starring Matt Smith. He's rep by UTA. The film legacy. The comic was adapted into the 2005 film starring Hugo Weaving as V and Natalie Portman as Evie, written by the Wachowskis and directed by James McTeague. It grossed over $130 million and became a cult classic. Now, This movie is a cult classic, and I think it's a mistake for them to make this series because I don't think it will be as good as what the movie was, and it won't. I don't think it'll have that fan base. Again, this is just the DCU doing DCU things that don't make sense, and they saw the hype from, oh, it's returning to theaters. People are excited. Oh, well, let's make a series of it. Again, the DCU is floundering. Now, with that being said, this show could work as an Elseworld story. DC is better with the Elseworld stories right now. If you look at the Batman, if you look at the Penguin, they were Elseworlds, and that's the only thing they've had DC related the last 5 years that's been successful. Everything else under James Gunn has flopped, and flopped hard. So let me know what you think. I don't think either one of these projects are needed. I honestly don't think either one of these projects is even going to happen. If one of them would happen, I would say V for Vendetta would happen over the Jimmy Olsen show, because I think once Warner Brothers is sold, James Gunn is gone, and it's going to be a whole complete reboot, or it's going to be the Snyderverse. But let me know in the comments what you think. I appreciate you watching. Thank you for the support. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any other updates or videos I have coming out. You can check out other DCU updates I have here. I hope everybody has a great week. God bless. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next video.